That last note always pops in before I can get to the music. Hey, hello, how do you do? Shady Doorags here. How y'all doing? Let me click this right quick. Make sure everybody can hear me. Testing, testing. Can everybody hear me? The thing says that I am streaming. All the waves are going up. Where's the... Here, get that going. I'll turn that down, make sure it's not overshadowing my voluptuous voice. All right, so this topic, this has been a long time coming. Shoot. Okay, so how we normally do things here on Shady Doorags is we talk about a specific topic for as long as it needs to go on. And I watch chat, I listen to it, and I respond to it as long as chat is on topic. We got a lot more people than normal, so chat is going really fast. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to properly respond to it. I know there's a way to do like slow mode, but by the way, how is my voice compared to the music? Like, you guys can hear me, right? So, because I definitely wanted to participate with chat like normal. It's going by so fast. I will still try to do it. I know there's a slow mode. I've never needed it before. So I don't know how to turn it on. Let me see if I can find it right quick. Here we go, slow mode. Okay. All right. I hate slow mode when I'm on other people's things. The music is quiet. Some people say the music is barely audible. Okay, I'll turn up the music. I turned it down because I didn't want it overshadowing my voice. Okay, so. All right, and if we have to, we'll just turn the music off if it gets too much. But first of all, we have to start with the most important news, which is I found my D10. It was missing for like 2 days. It turns out I put it in my pocket, and I was very distressed because I thought I accidentally threw it away. And like, I love these dice, so I was very upset about that. All right, so we got the important thing out the way. So first of all, thank you guys all so much for the support I've gotten over the last week. Good gravy, the channel blew up. My goodness gracious, y'all were thirsty for that cotton video. We're sitting at what, 72K right now, I think it is. If not, we're just shy of that. My goal is 100K before the end of the year, 100K subs for the end of the year. So that would be lovely. That would be very lovely. I made the mistake of eating fried food before this. I was trying to eat something so I wouldn't be hungry throughout the stream. That never works. I always get hungry anyway. Pizza roll time. I should go put some pizza rolls in. But I ate some fried food and I was like really lethargic. I was like, oh crap. So I was like, to get pumped up, I went and listened to some Anapatsu. But now I'm just like a little bit sweaty because I was jamming to her songs. We have some super chats already, so let me go ahead and read them. No, I clicked on the wrong thing. I thought it was here. I thought I already had them up. Oh, here they are. Okay. First super chat is from Gator159. This is why you're a better cartoon analyzer than than Johnny Tuchelis. I don't know if this makes me a better analyzer than Johnny Two Cellos. I wouldn't even say I'm a better analyzer than Johnny Two Cellos. We approach videos very differently. The way I approach videos is I approach them like it's a book club. Like we've all seen the same thing, and then we talk about what we've seen. So I don't really do much research when I go into my videos because I think that takes away from the book club like atmosphere, which is why I sometimes get things wrong, sometimes get details wrong, because I don't do too much research. Like I try to just go off of what I already know. I might research a thing here or there. Johnny puts a lot of research in his videos, so there's a lot of details. And also I think with my videos, I focus more on entertainment as a whole than Johnny does. And I forgot to put that go. Okay, should be good now. Yeah. So like I said, I will be reading chat and I will be reading super chats, but I please ask that we stay on topic. After all is said and done, we will have a free for all where you can ask whatever you want. Super chats do take priority, but if they are off topic, I won't answer them right then and there. I will wait. So there was another one. It's not showing. There's no message. Okay, well, thank you, Fry Films. Little BP Pro, what is your views on syndicalism? Never heard of it. But yeah, so this video, let's go ahead and get to the topic that everybody wants me to talk about. So this video, for the reason I'm making this video, normally I hate getting political. It's not that I hate politics. I'm very involved in politics. Some of y'all were spying on the people I'm subscribed to, and you're like, oh, hey, look at all these political people he's watching. Yeah. Yeah, I do watch a lot of politics, but I don't like getting political on the channel. And the reason I don't like doing that is because A, this isn't a political channel. People don't come here for the politics, and I don't make political content. Also, thank you, Liberty Prime, $2. Came for the King of the Hill, stayed for the truth. But yeah, like I was saying, I don't make political. That's not what I try to do. Also, I'm not like an expert in anything political. All of my political opinions are like personal stuff. But sometimes topics do delve into political stuff, and my political opinions do come out in my videos. I don't go out of my way exclusively to avoid being political. I just try not to. But if it comes up in a video, I'm like, well, we got to address it. Or if there's like a really good joke, a really good political joke, I bring it up. So, you know, but the problem is it has become very, very apparent where my political leanings don't lie. Not necessarily where they lie, where they don't lie. And the reason I wanted to make this video is because I've seen a lot of comments that felt betrayed when they realized that I was not woke. Because I am, if you leave this video with one thing only, leave with this. Shady Doorags is not woke. He is anti-woke. I actively preach against woke mentality. But people were feeling betrayed because they thought I was woke. You know, I started out reviewing BoJack Horseman, which is a very left-leaning show, and a lot of people just assumed that I was left-leaning too. Naturally, a lot of my audience was left-leaning because they were BoJack Horseman fans. So a lot of them assumed that I was left-leaning as well, and then I would make a video that's like, oh, hey, I don't care about, I would say, well, I'm not the biggest fan of feminism, and I would say, oh, I don't care about, what's it called, victim blaming or something like that, and people would be aghast, and they'd be like, I can't believe he said this, I feel betrayed. And I can't control how people view me. I can't control that. But what I can do is make it very clear where I stand on some things. Not all things, because there's still a lot of me that I keep private. Yeah, what do you mean by woke? I'm gonna get to that. There are some things about me that I still keep private. Just because you guys know Shady Doorags, it doesn't necessarily mean you know Montrell. But This, I think, is important because it's coming out more and more, and a lot of people are feeling betrayed. I considered July of 2021 the month I officially started my YouTube career. I don't want to go forward with people not knowing what they're getting into. I mean, my politics are not going to define my content. Like I said, I don't really like putting my politics in my content anyway, but I don't want people coming in thinking they're getting one thing when really another thing is there. So I want to make it clear that I'm not woke. I'm actually very anti-woke. And I thought it would be good to do like a discussion about it. Like I was supposed to make, like I said at the beginning of the month, I was gonna make a bunch of videos where we focus on me as a creator, not because I think you guys want to see it or because I think or because I want to make it, but because I think it needs to be on the channel. I said a bunch. Really, it was just 2. It was the top 10 videos, so you guys would know what makes what inspires me to do stuff. And the second one was this one. It was this one. I was supposed to make this video. I told myself by the end of July. It's July 30th. I still hadn't made the video because I couldn't get the script right. So I was like, you know what? I will just do a live stream. I actually think it'll be better as a live stream because we can get different perspectives. If you yourself are, if you would call yourself woke, you would call yourself progressive, if you would call yourself an SJW, I don't think anybody calls themselves an SJW, but if you would call yourself a progressive, you call yourself any of that stuff, this video is not being made to shut you down, shut your views down. Christian Fisher, as Patton Oswalt once said, you have to acknowledge people's beliefs. You don't have to respect their beliefs. I agree with that to an extent. But yeah, if you're woke, if you're progressive, if you follow the things I'm about to talk badly about, it's gonna happen. I'm going to talk badly about some of these things, but if you disagree with me, you are still welcome on this channel. You are still welcome to say your piece. You are still welcome to disagree with me, because I have said this from the beginning. People, if you disagree with me, speak, say it. Conversation is the only way we find out the truth in these matters. So I'm not gonna disown you just because you might disagree with my opinions that I'm gonna say in this video. And I'm certainly not gonna say you're not like a true fan of mine or anything like that. You're free to have these thoughts. This video is not to knock down woke people. It's not even to convince you not to be woke. I am saying my experiences with wokeness. And speaking of which, I really need to define that because some people are unsure of what I mean when I say that. Wokeness, progressivism, SJWs, there's another PC culture. It has a bunch of different names. Pendro Tridade, I think that's how you say it. Tell is 3 times that woke topic interferes in your enjoyment of a show. Stay moderate. If things don't work in America, you are always welcome here. Citations. But yeah, what do I mean when I say wokeism? What do I mean when I say progressivism? What do I mean when I say all that? First of all, if you have no experience with what I'm talking about, do not just take my word for it. Don't do that. I am somebody on the internet who happens to have a decent following. That doesn't make me an expert. In fact, I am not an expert. I'm saying that right now. On all the topics I'm talking about in this video, I am not an expert. You need to go and research this stuff, experience it for yourself, and have your own opinions. Quite frankly, if you've never experienced wokeness, I think you've lived a very happy life and you probably don't want to be exposed to it. You know, just forget about it. But if this is your first time encountering something like this, do your own research, find out your own opinions. I'm a guy on the internet. If I'm an expert in anything, it might be like literature analysis, technically, because that's what I do, even though I don't have like a degree in it. Technically, I went to school for programming, but I'm not doing programming as a job. Technically, I'm an expert as a YouTuber because I am a YouTuber. I guess that's more professional than it is an expert, but I am not an expert on any of the topics I'm going to be talking about in this video. Now, I keep dancing around it. What is wokeness? What is progressivism? What do I mean when I say that? In Western civilization, specifically America, we have had a history of treating people, having a bias against people who go against what is considered the norm, for lack of a better term. And the most normal thing you can be in Western civilization is a cisgendered, straight, white man. That is the most normal thing you can be in Western civilization. And throughout history, Western civilization, specifically in America, has had biased treatment against that. So the farther away you are from that, a lot of times legally and socially, you were treated very differently. Sometimes as second-class citizens, sometimes as third-class citizens, sometimes your life was considered to not matter. Being woke, being progressive, being an SJW, being all that, it means that you believe those biases still affect Western society today in such a high extreme that people should actively fight against it. That's what I mean when I say being woke. That's what I mean. I get up to this thing right here. Your perspective on politics and life is very refreshing. Thank you very much. All day again. So is there anybody who disagrees with that definition? And I'll pause for a minute while chat catches up, because that's what I consider when I say progressivism, PC culture, whatever. That Western society today is affected so much by its past biases against the norm that it needs to actively be fought against. Just give you guys a minute or two to respond. That's a respectable definition. It's a good definition. On your channel, King of the Hill. Not gonna lie, I like the idea of wokeness and PC culture as a form of teaching common decency, but I do feel in practice people do take it too far. Okay, here's the thing. I'm here understanding nothing, but I'm gonna feel bad if I leave. You understandable. That's a good definition. Absolutely agree. Sounds about right. Are you coming out with your political views or what? Be patient. I think you have a valid point there. Well, Shady may not be woke, but he has galaxy brain. Think it works. Progressivism and wokenism, I don't believe are the same thing. Wokeness originally was more about the black side of progressivism, and then it got lumped into all of PC culture as a term. I use the term wokeness because I think most people understand what I'm talking about when I say it. Though I know people who are pro this type of mindset, a lot of times they don't like the names that their opponents call them. Like, a lot of times they don't like the name woke, they don't like the name SJW, they don't like the name progressive, because those come with certain stigmas. But like I said, I use that term because I think most people know what I'm talking about when I say it. All right, so for the most part, I don't see people disagreeing with my definition, okay? So, me personally, my throat's already getting dry. I've already gotten through my first bottle of water. Me personally, do I think things like racism and sexism exist in the Western society? Yes, I do. I think they do exist. Do I think they exist on a social and legal level? Yes, I do. Do I think they exist to an extent that we need to actively fight against them? That is where I disagree. I do not think they exist to an extent that society has to actively fight against it. So I don't, because of that, I don't meet the definition of being woke, of being PC culture, of being progressive. Nina Niles, PC culture and woke culture sounds completely regressive thinking, especially since they are just trading biases in cultures. They are just being bigoted towards cis white males instead of the past. I mean, yeah, that's generally something anti-woke people agree with. So that's why I'm not woke. I don't meet those definitions. But why am I anti-woke? Why do I actively preach against wokeness? My anti-wokeness doesn't have anything to do with the belief of wokeness. It has to do with the practices. And somebody called me out in the chat earlier when I first made this go live. They're like, "Oh, he's gonna say he doesn't agree with the beliefs, but he doesn't disagree with the beliefs, but he disagrees with the practices." Technically, I disagree with the beliefs too. I don't think society is at the point where we need to actively be fighting this. I think there are individual moments that you need to look at and fight those moments when they happen. But I don't think it's at a point where we need to actively be fighting it constantly. But mainly it's the practices. Mainly it's the practices I disagree with, which is why I consider myself anti-woke. So, I'm going to elaborate on that. And I have notes, but they are useless because I can't read my handwriting. This is also my D&D folder, so I gotta find it. Let's make sure I hit everything. Okay, so reason number 0 why I'm woke, or why I'm why I'm anti-woke. Reason number 0 why I'm anti-woke is because I have a religious background. I grew up in a very conservative family who was very religious. Am I still religious? Yes, but not as much as I used to be. The reason I say this is reason number 0 is because I personally don't think that being religious has affected me that much to make me be anti-woke. But I feel like if I don't bring it up, the woke people will call me out on it. So I feel like, yes, I must bring it up. I am religious. I have a religious background. I don't think it has affected my mentality when it comes to wokeness. I think my mentality to wokeness mostly comes from more secular things. Good job on wording there, Shady. I am like the typical introvert. I practice everything I'm gonna say hours and hours before I say it, and it never goes the way I want to. Yeah, so but going beyond that, when I started college, that's when I first got introduced to progressivism. And to be fair, I didn't get introduced to why can't you be religious and woke? You can be. There are plenty of religious and woke people. I just said that because I know there are some people who are going to bring it up if I don't. Some people are going to say, well, actually, it's because of his religious background. And he completely bypassed that. But there are so many religious and woke people out there. But as I was saying, I got first introduced to progressivism during college. And to be fair, I was introduced to it in a not so flattering light. I was introduced to it through the skeptic community at the time. Which, if you don't know, the skeptic community was a bunch of YouTubers who they were actively skeptic about most things. They were skeptic about religious stuff as well, right-wing stuff as well, but they were mostly they got most of their fame talking about wokeness, talking about usually feminism, but pretty much anything that was considered woke. And because of that, I got to see people making fun of wokeness. But I have, when I first started college way back when, I came to a realization that I need to hear both sides of the argument because I might be wrong. I might have no idea what I'm talking about, and I can only find that out if I consider that I'm wrong and if I hear the opposing argument. So I went and I listened to the opposing side of the argument. Richard Boone, I think the best way to describe wokeness, if the college girl scene in Fritz the Cat based upon ideals most can agree on, but only practiced and enacted for social approval. I have not seen Fritz the Cat. somebody, I meant to say this earlier, they came up with a really, really good quote about wokeness. I'll get to it later, because I think it'll be better mentioned later. But anyway, when I was in college, I came across wokeness from the skeptic community. They were funny, they were entertaining, but I went and I listened to the other side of the argument. And between the skeptic community and the progressive community, there was things I noticed about their practices. The skeptic community, who no longer they no longer exist as a skeptic community. Like, individual creators are still out there, but they're no longer a community like they used to be. What they would do is they would debate the argument in full, and they would invite people who disagree with them into the discourse. And I was like, yeah, that's the mentality I always take. Hear the other side. When I went and listened to the other side of the argument, progressivism had not obviously hashtag not all, but they had the reputation of not doing that. They didn't take the time to listen to the other side of the argument in full. They would constantly cherry pick things out of an argument, and it made themselves sound better. And they weren't open debaters. If they did debate, they constantly debated in bad faith. And that made me not like their practices. So when it came to wokeness, I kept looking at both sides of the argument, and I kept being pushed against wokeness and progressivism. And there are some major things that I've seen throughout most PC culture that I actively don't like. It's not that I don't like PC culture itself, is that PC culture has these things in it that I actively fight against in my everyday life. One of them, as all of you know, I do not like playing the victim. I don't. Sometimes you will be a victim in life, that is true, but my thing says instinctively I should be thinking about myself. I have that mentality because when I was growing up, I used to have to share a lot of my chores with my brother. So, we both had to mow the yard and stuff like that. And sometimes he wouldn't do his half of the work, and we'd have like a half mowed yard. And then my dad would come home and we both get punished. And I was like, Dad, I did my half of the work. Why am I getting punished? And he instilled in me, he said, look, this is your house. You need to take care of it. You cannot worry about what other people are doing. You need to do the best that you can do. Okay? Stuff that is his, that you don't have to worry about, that's fine. But when it's everybody's responsibility, you need to do what you can to take care of it. And if he just doesn't help, you can tell me afterwards, and then I'll take care of it. But you need to focus on you. And that's a mentality that I pushed forward with. I need to focus on me. I need to focus on bettering myself. When things go wrong, I need to focus on this guy. And that's just how I've approached life. May I ask what you mean by looking at both sides of the argument? Could you go further in depth as to who you heard the side perspectives from either side? I can remember the skeptics more because I watch their stuff all the time. But what I would do is I would watch their stuff, and then I would say, okay, they make a fair point, but let's hear what the other person actually said in full. And then I would click on the link to the other person's video, hear their entire argument. These were people like, back in the day, it was people like Anita Sarkeesian, Lacey Green, people like that. Samurai Knight, my view on woke is people who complain about the cards in their hand and wanting to reshuffle and cherry pick till they got a winning hand. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying not to be, antagonistic. I'm trying not to be antagonistic, even though I am definitely, like I said, I'm definitely not woke. I preach against things. As a whole, I'm going to bring this quote up now. Somebody on YouTube posted this. I am stealing it. They were talking about feminism. I think this applies to all wokeness. It said, these people present hypotheses, but treat them like conclusions. And I thought that was just such a perfect quote about how I feel about wokeism. People, because if you know the scientific, what's it called? The scientific method, it's you observe, you form a question, and then you form a hypothesis, and then you gather data to see if your hypothesis is true or false. And what it feels like with all of wokeism, it feels like they observe, they see a problem, they form a hypothesis, but once they gather data, they only look at the data that supports their hypothesis. That's what it feels like. So I don't get the same conclusions that progressives seem to get with this type of stuff. To give an example, they say, well, America is a place where this is something I get told all the time. America is a place where black people are victims. And then I'm like, I'm a victim? Like, I don't know what you mean by that. How am I a victim? And they'll give all these things about how society is against black people. And I'm like, I have not experienced those things, and I am a black person. So what do you mean by that? And of course, the typical response is, well, you don't speak for all black people. I'm like, yeah, but all black people don't speak for me either. So the only thing we can do is look at this objectively. And when you look at it objectively, they'll say, okay, let's look at it objectively. They'll find the numbers that specifically support their cause. I'm like, well, that's not necessarily the explanation, though. So stop talking about the people, talk about the ideas and issues. Well, here's the thing. This video isn't about the ideas and issues. This video is about why I am not woke, because people have expected me to be woke. A lot of, like, when I did my John Redcorn video, a lot of people were like, oh man, this sounds like you're against people getting reparations and stuff. Man, if only you'd say the same thing about Black Lives Matter. As if because I'm black, I have to support Black Lives Matter. Like, if this is my logic and this group goes against my logic, why would you not assume that my logic goes against that group? Like, that's the kind of stuff I have to deal with constantly. And I wanted to make a video showcasing that I don't stand there. Like, I would like people to stop making assumptions about me just because of certain things. Just because I watch BoJack Horseman, that must mean I'm left-leaning. No, I like BoJack Horseman as a story. I like the story. Just because I'm black, that must mean I support Black Lives Matter. Black people are allowed to disagree with Black Lives Matter. Hey, do you in fact support Black Lives Matter? No. No, I don't. I do not support Black Lives Matter. I think Black Lives Matter does way more harm. Way more harm. I think they have a false, what's it called? A false stance in the first place. I think they have a false stance in the first place. And again, I was trying not to be antagonistic with these views, because I wanted woke people to come into this video and be able to hear what I'm trying to say, which is just that I'm not woke and I have reasons for not being woke. Did you also get called an Oreo in life? That's not very clever. Like, if I was half albino, that would be a clever insult. You don't need to support Black Matters to actually support minorities. Go to a soup kitchen, go to a local community that helps people. Can you agree with the cause of Black Lives Matter? I can't agree with the cause of Black Lives Matter because the cause that they say they have is not the same cause they work towards. Good gravy. I did not want to do this, but this is where the conversation seems to be leading. Black Lives Matter will say they support Black lives, and then they'll destroy black entrepreneur's business because he's part of the system. Oh yeah, sure. And then ignore black on black crime. Oh yeah, sure. And again, if you've never heard of this stuff before, do your own research. These are offhand comments that I am making from my personal experience. I am not going into detail. A lot of you I saw you discussing earlier are much more experts in these topics than I am. I'm just stating my opinion. So do you think you're happier not being woke? Yeah, I do. And I think a lot of people would be, because wokeness in general tells you are a victim constantly. And I'm sitting here with my YouTube channel that I've created, that I work towards, because I don't believe the system is keeping me down. And I'm happy. I have a happy life. I'm really happy with my life. And I've constantly said, like, you know, the key to being happy is being thankful, including being thankful for the ability to improve yourself. I definitely feel that I'm happy not being that way. I notice problems, but I mostly want to keep to myself. Would you support Black Lives Matter if it was like Black Panthers in the 70s? Like, I don't know enough about the Black Panthers. I don't think so, because they were more aggressive movement, and there are very few like aggressive movements I agree with. I'm only happy not being woke when I'm around non-wokies. Wokies love to destroy the happiness in every non-wokie. Do you hate it when people feel sympathy for you just because you're a minority? As a Hispanic, I don't know why they would feel sympathy for me. That's the thing. My life is pretty good, and I know that sounds really braggy, but my life is pretty good, and it's because I've worked towards a good life. I had really good supportive parents. They weren't rich, but they loved me to death. My parents loved me to death, and they instilled in me values, personal values, to be a good person. And as I grew up, you know, there are things about my life I didn't like. I changed that. I hated being in a 9-to-5. Constantly, I hated being in a 9-to-5. And I was like, this needs to change. And now I'm doing YouTube. NCR Patriot. New Vegas. What about stuff outside of your control that have negative effects, like gerrymandering and erasing history, like what Texas wants to do in school? I don't know enough about those specific topics to give you an answer on those specific topics. Things that are outside of your control. You will sometimes be a victim. That is true. You will sometimes be a victim. I'm not saying you will never be a victim. What I'm saying is it should not be your instinct to constantly look for other people to solve the problem you are having. Sometimes it is their fault. And sometimes the best solution is they need to fix it. But I constantly look for, okay, what did I do wrong in this situation? How did I, even if I didn't start it, how did I make it worse? What can I do to fix it? Have you looked at the people like Thomas Sowell, Kinetic? No, I have not. Do you agree about having a certain group of women or minorities before you can employ people? No, because as I'm saying all this is kind of a scary video to make, because I know about half of my followers are progressives, or at least they lean left. And I don't want them to feel outcasted just because I have a different opinion than them. If you love John Redcorn, you're still welcome to my channel. We just have different opinion on that. And just like if you love wokeism, you're still welcome on my channel. We just have a different opinion on that. I just really want to put it out there because this is like I said before, this is a reoccurring problem that people just assume I'm woke and then they feel betrayed. And it's like, I just want people to know that I'm not trying to trick them. I'm not trying to trick them. And I guess now is the time to just put it all out there, because the rest of my videos are not really going to be political. You know, some political stuff might come out, but they're not going to be political. Cooler in text, BLM and Black Panther were both communist movement. That fist is called the Red Salute. And why do blacks from Nigeria all succeed here? Okay. I love this man regardless of his views. Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure there's some kind of view I could have that would probably make you not like me. Which, by the way, there is one major viewpoint I need to get to before the end of the video. But right now, I'm enjoying reading chat. I wonder what a sub count would be after 24 hours. It's not just my sub count I'm worried about. Here's the thing. I grew up with the unpopular opinion. I'm not scared to have the unpopular opinion. The scary thing is when you have the opinion that the people over you want to silence. That's the scary thing. Also, I know for a fact that a lot of other cartoon reviewers, if they're not woke, they support a lot of left-leaning things. So this could be the video that like burns a lot of bridges for them. I'm perfectly willing to work with other creators, even if they are woke. But that doesn't mean they'll be willing to work with me. The Rokinante, best stream you've made, dude. Will it be available to watch later? Yeah, I never private my streams unless they're just awful. Like that one BoJack Horseman I did, where the audio was just terrible, and everybody was like, "No, it's okay. You just keep going." I'm like, "Oh my goodness." Why did y'all tell me this audio was awful? Samurai Knight, I get called Oreo or Mutt all the time, though I am Neapolitan. People who say they are inclusive really tend not to be. I am sorry that people will call you derogatory terms. The sad truth of the matter is that there are people who do that. I've been called derogatory terms before, but I don't see it as society doing it. I see it as people doing it, because there will always be bad people. Phantom Tales, thank you. It's sad as a progressive that accountability and progressiveness have become antonyms. Also, thanks for content made college work pandemic easier. Yeah, the calling people progressive always, like, there's always a tick in my ear, because it always feels like they're regressivism. You know, segregation, that's a regressive thing. You mean woke Twitter? Twitter is accessible. I hate Twitter. I freaking hate Twitter so much. I follow people on Twitter because I'm like, I want to hear about their newest videos, or some silly story that they did, or like how they're eating too many Oreos right now, you know, just silly stuff. And they constantly post political stuff. And I'm like, I didn't want to hear that. And then I'm like, okay, fine, people can post political stuff, but then Twitter's censorship is so biased. Twitter's just awful, man. I'm on Twitter so you guys know what's going on, and I don't think I've ever used it for political stuff, other than posting this live stream. I try to tell y'all like fun stuff that I'm doing, or when a video is coming up, or what I'm working on, stuff like that. I'm not a fan of either the online woke or online anti-woke crowds. Both sides, they usually across as quite annoying to me. Something else too. A lot of people on the opposite side, they consider themselves the underdog. Woke people consider themselves the underdog. Wokeism, I think, has the lesser numbers overall, but they have so much power in the media, I cannot consider them underdogs. The main media and online media supports them so much, I can never see them as underdogs. Even though they do technically have the lesser numbers. Thank you, the Sarkic Advocate. Appreciate that. Be interesting if I go on Twitter and I'm banned. Yeah, I just a lot of people I follow on Twitter, they just started getting political, and it's like, I don't want to hear that. So like I had to unfollow them. Samurai Knight, thank you once again. I learned long ago people try to put you in a group, so I will deny them, calling me just white, black, etc., and will make my own terms. I don't care. I mean, this is something I was going to get into later, but labels are fine. I'm fine with labels. That's why when people are like, not all blacks are from Africa, so why do we call them African American? I'm like, because they need to go into a cat. It's just meant to understand them better. It's not that big of a deal, to me personally. Same thing with being called black, you know. It's like, well, you're not black, you're brown. They shouldn't call you that. It's like, it's just to put you in a category. It's not a derogatory term. Like derogatory terms, I don't like. I don't think we should be scared of them, but I don't like derogatory terms. So it's like, you know, don't call somebody a derogatory term unless you're just joking around with them, or they're fine with it. You know, the N word is a big one. I'm like, we should not be as afraid of the N word as we are. And the only reason I say N word is because I treat it like a curse word, and all of you know I don't like swearing. So, but I don't think people should be afraid of. They're so afraid of that word. I cannot believe how much Toon Tariq just spouts it out. So, there's one more thing I need to talk about before the end of this video. And I'll get back to your comments. This thing I'm about to talk about, this is actually not necessarily woke. BQ, thoughts on critical race theory if you have any. Okay, I'll answer this right quick since it was a super chat. I don't know exclusively about the details. Thank you, Spartan Seth. I don't know exclusively about the details of critical race theory. I know, so I can't give an educated response to that. I can say I don't support it because I have beliefs of what it's about, but I've never delved into it. I can just say I don't support it. But yeah, there's one more thing I need to talk about. It is not necessarily woke, but it is something that woke people support. Now, the thing is, I have a lot of opinions that the internet's not gonna like. Most of them are never gonna get on the internet because I have no reason to talk about them. This one, though, this is one I think I need to talk about because I think it could affect me in the future, and I think it's another one of those things where if people find out, they will feel like I betrayed them. And I'm hesitant to say this one because I know for a fact I have audience members who this is a close, this opinion is probably going to hurt them somewhat. As well as, again, other creators who do the same thing I do. This opinion might burn some bridges. But I do think it's something that needs to be said, because if I don't say it, like, I'll feel like I'm kind of living a lie as I go forward, because I think I'm going to have to confront it eventually. I don't know how popular it is going to be with the current chat, but here it is. And I'll get to your super chats in a minute. The opinion is everything involving gender makes no sense to me. And I've heard all the arguments, and I don't support it. I think you have a right to do whatever you want with your body as long as nobody else is involved. As long as nobody else is involved, fine. But other than that, anything to do with gender, it makes no sense to me. It absolutely makes no sense to me. All right, let me get to these super chats right quick before they go away. I listen to your videos all the time. They help me focus at work. I feel like we need some kind of middle ground politically, socially. Too much division right now, and both extremes are so wrong. But I do think one extreme has way more power than the other, and that is the wokeism. I'm not woke because I don't like what it brings to society, such as SJWs, cancel culture, Josh review. Yeah, I agree with that, but that's not why I'm not woke. But yeah, I agree with that. Some Asian guy, thank you very much. How's it going? It's going really well. The chat is being very nice, for lack of a better term. Absolute Destiny, 35 minutes behind. Just want to send some love your way. Keep it real, fam. Thank you very much. And this last one from Samurai Knight again. Thank you very much, Samurai. Let their words be your armor, and they never hurt you. I mean, yeah. So, gender. I want to go into gender. Because this is the one idea that I came into the video planning on talking about in detail. Again, I am not an expert in this topic. I am talking about my specific experience with it. All right, so we as humans, we have come to understand that we are divided into two categories, man and female, or man and female, male and female, and we have learned through our experience what that means. So far, to our understanding, we have learned mostly that through the role of sex, there are two distinct types of humans, and the best we can categorize them is through the chromosomes, XY and XX. That's scientifically what we know about humans. Then an XX makes a female and XY makes a male. Our society centered around that concept. And so we had what are now called gender roles. For this case, I'll say sex roles. But we had roles specifically depending on what you were. And it was deemed that the female is more valuable in preserving of society. Because, you know, if you kill off a tribe and you kill off all the males except one, but you leave all the females alive, you can very easily bring that tribe back. Do the opposite is bad. So men were more disposable, but through other means, we also found that men should take other certain roles and women should take other certain roles, etc., etc. So basically, we understood sex roles. Then came this concept called gender. Gender is an expression of your sex, your biological sex, which means even though you are biologically one thing, you can express yourself as another. First of all, like that whole concept to me makes no sense to me. First of all, why do we have a word for the expression of a biological component? We treat old people different than we treat young people as a society. We have roles for old people than we do young people as a society. Why do we not have a word for expressing your age? We just have age. People are they're calling you transphobic. I knew this was going to happen. Like I said, I know there's people who are going to be upset about this opinion, and I know it's going to come out later. That's why I'm just being open about it now. This is the start of my YouTube career. If this is what's going to set people off, they need to know that this thing. But yeah, why do we not have a word for how we express our age? We treat tall people differently than we treat short people. Why do we not have a word for how we express our height? We don't. But we have gender, something that expresses a biological component, because we want it separate from sex. Because we treat men and women differently, and some people want to be treated differently. So, like I said, anything involving gender, I don't understand. I've heard all the arguments, and they don't make any sense to me. Gender is not the same as gender identity. Gender identity comes from gender. Cooler in text, if male and female ain't real, then try to get apples from male trees. This crap is something you only see in rich white countries. Shady, what do you think is worse for humanity, Twitter or 4chan? I mean, I barely even hear about 4chan. Gender equals sex, but the gray matter structure in the brain is also part of sex. The issue is the trans people that try to... Another thing. I almost had whiplash from doing that. Probably the most offensive thing to me about the concept of gender, pronouns. This is where I'm really gonna get in trouble, because I know for a fact that people who I've worked with use pronouns. I hate the concept of choosing your pronouns. I think it's an insult to biology, and I think it's an insult to literature. Because what's the point of pronouns? The point of pronouns, if I use a pronoun, is for me to tell somebody about something else and how I experienced it. Uh-oh, my camera failed. Uh-oh, my camera's gone. Oh no. It's back. So, so pronouns, like I said. The point of them is for me to express to somebody else how I view something. So it doesn't really have to do with that pronoun, but people believe they can just change it, and I'm like, that's not how it's supposed to work. Yeah, that's my pronouns is probably like my big thing when it comes to, but really everything with gender. Again, I'm just a person on the internet. That's my opinion. You don't have to take it as fact. You're allowed to disagree. I see a lot of you are, but yeah, the camera went woke. Well, gender is technically also the sex, but gender describes your brain sex because your brain also a part of your gender, while sex is the rest of your body. I mean, it's linked directly to sex, so you're either male or female. Yeah, I agree with that. Even if I agree with the concept of gender, these in-betweens, they make no sense. Look up David Reimer, a greedy doctor causes. Is that, okay, I don't remember his name, but I do remember there was some kind of dude who was experimenting on twins. The Sarkic, that was from BQ, by the way, thank you. The Sarkic Advocate, thank you for acknowledging my point about Pete being wrong in your BoJack stream. They had already planned on getting drunk and he stopped to hang. Oh, that's a completely off topic, but thank you. It's such a tough subject to discuss because it's become mix of political discourse, personality, personal identity. No matter what you stand, you will upset someone. Yes, I will. And I will upset people to the point that to like they'll draw a line in the sand. Trans is a part of it. I'll say this, like a lot of people said my video helped them establish being trans, and I'm like, I'm glad people got something positive out of my videos, but none of them preach that. It was mostly the Todd video, the one about labels, because in that video I specifically said, hey, if you meet the definition of a label, you don't have to be ashamed of it just because you're different. And people were like, yeah, the trans label, and I'm like, actually that kind of spits in the face of trans. Honestly, man, I love your videos. Cancel culture sucks. I think you should be able to share any opinion about media. Woke people care more about characters from shows than real humans. Woo! That He-Man fiasco, though. That He-Man fiasco, though. Doomed if you do, doomed if you don't. Might as well say and do what you want. Well, like I said, the reason I'm making this video, again, for like the 50th time, the reason I'm making this video is just because I want you guys to know what you're getting into. Me being anti-woke does not define me. If all this, the social war, the what's it called? I'm saying social war. I can't remember what it's called. If the social war just stops and we just stop doing that, there's gonna be plenty more stuff for me to talk about. Like, I don't even like talking about this stuff on my channel. I just don't want people to feel deceived. I don't want people to find out a year from now that I'm anti-woke and they're like, wow, I can't deal with this Shady Doorags. He is anti-woke. Oh man, I'm gonna tell everybody. Like, just, I want to be open about it. Words with the wisdom. That name. Words with the with. Oh, I got a kick out of that name. I've never been a ladies' man or a man's man. I prefer pansexual because I'm people person and I can't be picky. Although we need more Don Rickle peeps. The thing that I don't understand about non-binary is that it's meaningless. Trans does have meaning to it, changing that kind of thing, but anyone can call themselves non-binary while doing nothing. Dude, gender doesn't mean expression when concerning social and cultural differences rather than biological ones. It's still linked to biological components though. Okay, in my opinion, sex and gender are different. People who identify as a boy, even though their sex is still female, so you respect their choice to identify as a man, but they were still born. Why can they not just identify as a feminine male? What is wrong with that? A male who acts like a female. Why can they not identify as that? Osric, hey man, you do great content. That's always entertaining. Your point on specific things are understandable. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much. And I do thank all my all my woke viewers for being patient, because I'm specifically talking down things you believe in, and you're still around, still listening. So I do appreciate that. We gotta declare war on spacemen. Okay, that's not on topic. I'm traumatized. I love my life, and I'm extremely privileged. Idea is non-binary because I want to. It fits with the way I see myself. If we allow people to identify with how they see themselves, what's to stop people from identifying with other aspects? Term gender theory is a coined term used by I don't think I can even say that word. I wonder if I'm still monetized. Let me check. Check right quick, see if I'm still monetized. Yeah, it's still monetized. It's okay to be a tomboy or feminine man, but it doesn't mean you are a completely different gender than what you are. Yeah, that's what I say. I'm like, but what if they are depressed because they want to be she, so one little change of word can help? Well, that's the thing. I think that's the argument most people make. It helps them feel better. Because dysphoria is a thing, and dysphoria isn't something you can just change. So the only thing you can do is relieve the symptoms. I think that if we keep going this route as a society, we will head down some bad paths, because we're accepting feelings over. Oh, I'm gonna sound like Shapiro. We're accepting feelings over facts, and I don't think that's a good thing for a society to do. I think feelings are important. I think we need to acknowledge them. I think we need to help people feel good. A society cannot thrive if its people are miserable. But I don't think we should dismiss the facts because of it. I understand why transgenders are part of the LGBTQ community when the group is all based on sexuality, not gender, which transgender is also a big fan of your channel. Thank you very much. Yes, I agree with that. The LGB is supposed to be about sexuality. T is not about sexuality, it's about identity. Your identity can be linked to your sexuality, but it's not what it's about. This one. The Duval 59. Thank you very much. This money is because you make dope content, but I couldn't disagree with you more. Regender. Why does it matter if someone wants to use different pronouns or is a man when they were born a woman or vice versa? If it makes them happy and more human, let them do it. Because they are telling me to do it. They're not just doing it themselves. They are telling other people to address it. And honestly, I think, if I'm being honest here, I think it's you telling yourself something that's not true to make yourself feel better. And in any sense, I don't think that's a good thing to do. And I know, like I said, dysphoria is a thing. You can't just change dysphoria. This is just a way to relieve the symptoms. But that's in actuality what is happening. And it's having such an adverse effect on society. I do thank you for being civil about your disagreement. I mean, you were more than civil. You donated money to tell me you disagreed. So I thank you very much for that. I really want to thank all my audience for remaining civil, at least the ones I saw. You mean transracial thing, which someone is trying to do? Yeah, like a lot of people are laughing at it now, but it's gonna continue to go down that route. Grima the Fell Dragon. Whereas with Alyssa, why can't people be like the old wise guy back then, like Don Rickles, Dean Martin, Johnny Cash, just have a sense of humor and grow a pair? Well, a lot of people are being censored now, so. Why do all African Americans I subscribe to end up being mega based? I don't know. Maybe it's just your tastes. The original Brofessor. Not gonna lie, modern gender theory has ruined a generation of tomboys into believing they must be trans or gay, and not just that there could be masculine women. I can't say it's ruined a generation. Well, I certainly believe it's influenced it. Facts don't care about your feelings, but you only refute to respecting someone is that it's an inconvenience for you. No, Are you talking to me? Because I specifically said I think society goes down a bad route. When, first of all, you're only refute to respecting someone. That is a loaded sentence because you're saying by using the pronouns they want, that must be me respecting them. When them asking me to use their pronouns could be considered a disrespect to my beliefs. So they're disrespecting me. And the only thing that's keeping them from respecting me is an inconvenience for them. So that's the thing about a lot of wokeism. It's loaded. It is loaded with language that shouldn't be used in the way it does. That was a clear example of it right there. It's saying, well, you only refute to respecting someone. Instead of saying you only refute to using their pronouns, you replaced it with respecting, because respecting. Hold on. Let me stop because I'm getting aggressive. People use that term because it has a positive connotation to it. So they phrase what they like with a positive connotation instead of taking a neutral stance, and phrase what they don't like with a negative connotation. This is why the terms sexist and racist got watered down, because people constantly use those words because they knew other people would respond negatively to them. But like I said before, I think there will be bad consequences if we keep going down that route. If you keep acknowledging something because it makes somebody feel better despite it not being true. The original Professor, what if the Romans fell because of the primal events of what's happening now? Well, probably not, but it's funny to think about that. I mean, domino effect could happen. I would highly suggest looking more into CRT, Basic Economics by Thomas Sowell. It's free on YouTube. It will change your life, my friend. Shelby Rahman, thank you very much. Like I said, me being anti-woke does not define who I am. So, I don't know if it would really change my life. And I genuinely think being woke would make me more miserable. Like, I keep in mind that I might be wrong. Somebody could say the exact right thing that'll turn me woke. I think if that happens, though, I'll be a lot less happy with myself. I'll be a lot less happy with life. The Neon Werewolf! That's the guy who made the thing. The guy over there, him. The Neon Werewolf did that. Thank you for having the guts to do a video like this. I suspected you felt this way watching your videos, but I'm glad you aren't afraid to just say it. This stream is the Recinante. I'm pretty sure I said that horribly. This stream is gonna get Shady and Rogan. And like, honest is the best policy. I think so too. Like, I think it is important to acknowledge facts, even ones that hurt. I think that is very important. BQ, last donate, but I like how you discuss politics. Thank you very much. I'm trying to keep it civil. I don't want to do something like this in the future, so I'm trying to get it all out now. I probably will have to eventually. Yeah. And that the pronoun thing is funny because I've asked myself, if you had to, would you use somebody's pronouns? And I'm like, it doesn't hurt me in any way to use somebody's pronouns, but I think it hurts society as a whole to constantly give into it. I've never been put in a situation where I've had to use someone's pronouns. If I was caught in the moment and I was on somebody else's like platform or something, like in their space, I would probably do it. But like, say like somebody wanted to collab with me and they said, hey, the only thing is if you come over here, you have to use my pronouns. I would say, well, I'm not going to agree to that because that goes against something I stand for. So I would actually miss out on an opportunity to do stuff like that. I'm not saying I would never work with somebody who uses pronouns, but if the stipulation is I have to use pronouns and it's beforehand, I would probably decline. Go to our Bazaar medical school in Canada is accepting transracial students. Treehouse News covers this, so it's a thing, and gender issues are causing this. Rabbit edits. Laughing. I just got done binging BoJack Horseman for the 20th time, so the timing of this live stream is sick. Love your content, man. Thank you so much. Battery. Sorry, man. I feel you're over-exaggerating the negative effects pronouns will have on society. Okay. We're already being pushed towards transracialism. how many things, I mean, it's a slippery slope thing, so that's a fallacy. But I think I have a stance. I have a personal stance that you should accept facts if they are true. And I think using pronouns is a denial of facts. I think it's people refusing to accept what they are. And I think that's overall a bad thing. I'm not I forget what it's called, a clinical psychologist, so I cannot tell you exactly the effects it will have. I can only tell you what I suspect it will have. I think it's just best to be honest with what you are and who you are. Like Tyrion Lannister said, know what you are, because the world will never let you forget it. Or is it the world will use it against you? Something like that. I don't know. Tyrion Lannister said it better. Shady, transracial adoptee is not pretending to be a different race. What is it then? Correct my mistake then. NCR Patriot, a lot of these takes are things that conservatives do just as much as SJWs though, like how anti-vaxxers want to respect their opinions, but their takes actually will harm those around them. Well, I'm mostly center right. So I don't go too far right or too far left, but like I said, I think woke people have more power in the media. Like, you have your extremes, but the woke people, they have like the most power in the media. I completely agree, and my wife loves the content slippery slope indeed. The entire gender issue was born from the mind of an insane sicko, and that insanity has been spreading ever since. Transracial, we're beyond that. We are prepping for transhumanism, which is unholy. None of y'all got answers, which is funny. How is someone who is biologically intersex supposed to ID? Biologically Will of my... Dude, I totally agree that simply talking about this makes you feel like Shapiro, I think is what that's supposed to say. Thank you very much, Will. Yeah, I mean, it's just sometimes for the woke people in my chat, sometimes the people you like who entertain you have different opinions than you. And that's just something you got to deal with. Alan, thank you for, I don't even know what that is, but my goodness. I speak Spanish, it is harming the language. Does that mean like pronouns are harming the language? I'm not sure what you mean by that. I think using different pronouns like the way we are is harming the English language. Oniroki, hey, just found your channel some time ago, loving the content you put out, and I hope you put out more. Mad respect for you and the values you hold. Thank you very much, I appreciate it. Edge Blackstar, I know people who don't put their opinions for the fear. Hopefully people can treat others with kindness when disagree. Nowadays people get too far, too aggressive towards each other for disagreement. I definitely agree. And I'm trying to be respectful to the people in my chat who disagree with me. Because I can get aggressive when I'm talking about stuff, and it's not that I'm angry or anything, it's just my passion starts coming out. And it's much different than when I'm doing scripted stuff, because when I'm doing scripted stuff, I can direct my passion. The Shambler, the main problem with the LGBT plus lobby is its predication on children. Whether it's the parades every year or the literal "we are coming for your kids" song, is not acceptable behavior. I agree. That is something I cannot discuss too much in videos because YouTube gets angry with it, but I do agree. Go to Arts Bazaar. I think they mean Latinx instead of Latino. Okay. All right. Well, thank you for the donation, Goat. Spanish is a gendered language. Everything has an A or O. I'm pretty sure English is a gendered language too. Oh no, not as much as Spanish though. What do you think of Jewish people, and have they been holding down the black man more than the whites? I don't think anything about Jewish people. They're just people to me. I mean, yeah, I have no thoughts about Jewish people specifically. They are people. They have had history probably gave them one of the worst sticks in existence. Dysphoria doesn't need physical components to manifest. That being said, gender dysphoria usually comes from a cognitive disorder which someone in neurology and similar to are completely the opposite sex. I'm also center-right myself. Conservatives are the biggest hypocrites. Are they? Are they though? Conservatives are the biggest hypocrites? Okay, so I can agree there are hypocritical conservatives, but that's something that the woke is known for, being hypocritical. Rules for thee, not for me. Is something they are very, very well known for. Because the ends justify the means when it comes to wokeness. And I disagree with that heavily. You should not become a monster in order to stop the monsters, unless in the most extreme circumstance. And even then, I don't know what I would define as the most extreme circumstance. I just don't like absolutes. Phantom Tales, I did want to say this. Do not look to Shapiro if you agree with his opinions. There are much better pundits and academics out there to learn from for everyone, not Shady specifically. I mean, I've listened to Shapiro. I'm not like, he's not a big source for me. I just know who he is, and I like that he's a memer. That's the main thing about Shapiro that I like, that he memes. Asexuals are people who like men and women. Pansexuals are people who like anyone, no matter gender or sex. What? Oh, because in my mind, gender and sex are the same thing. Family Guy did one good episode ripping into these woke SJW mods and why you should never entertain them or apologize to a mod. Apologies, man. The thing about me and apologies, I get so angry when I see apologies, because if I have done something I regret, I will apologize. If I have said something that could easily be taken out offensively by the audience I was specifically talking to, then I will apologize. Other than that, man, I ain't apologizing for jack. Like, even if it offends someone, like, man, I remember when Jar did his apology video. That's when I made my response to the whole Jar situation, because I saw his apology video and I was like, I don't think he should have apologized in this situation. And I went and made a video, so I was like, yo, listen. I think you missed my last Don't Know Bud, the original Professor. I did. I apologize. Thank you very much. I really apologize. Abstract Idea, really figured you were anti-woke when I heard you take on John Redcorn. Anyway, hope this doesn't hurt your channel. Yeah, I hope it doesn't hurt my channel either, but sacrifices must be made. Like I said, I just want to be upfront with people. Thank you for the donation. Let me see. Where did it go? Nope, that's not it. Superchats, where are they? They're here. Super C-O. Did they not catch up? Oh, I'm sorry if I missed that super chat. Connor Phillips, do you believe there is a link between wokeism and Marxism? I don't understand Marxism enough to give an educated response to that question. What everyone hating on Shapiro, dude was super skeptical of Trump for months, and a lot of hardcore conservatives hating him because he doesn't just blindly hopping on the bandwagon. He's pretty balanced. I mean, I think he approaches situations with a pretty level head, but like I said, I don't really go to him for much. Love your emphasis, critical thinking in situations. Thank you, Ozai. Ozai, like Zuko's dad. Shady right now, stonks. Your super chat went to oblivion. No, I'm sorry. I try to get to. I really am trying to get to the super chats. There's actually some good SJWs, and then there's Anita. Anita, man, you could write any moderate could write just an essay, a huge essay on Anita. Because it was proven so much that Anita didn't believe the stuff she said. Like, it was hardcore proven. At Shady Doorags, we need to shut down Twitter because it is a cesspool where all these woke losers are for threatening us and our society for just having an opinion. Well, Twitter needs to be shut down because it's acting like a publisher instead of a platform. Like, I don't want to shut down that article that protects these sites. I just want them to face the consequences of acting like publishers instead of platforms. Like, if you're not violating their rules and you're not proclaiming anything illegal, then you shouldn't be getting shut down. Hey Shady, I agree with your views, but not gonna lie, I feel like you came pretty underprepared to defend them. I freaking practice this freaking talk, but I suck at it. I suck when I don't have a script. I'm really bad. You're right. I agree with you. You're right. I 100% agree with that. Which is why I told people you should not take my word for it. I am not a professional in any of these. A lot of people in the chat know what I'm saying, know what they're saying way more than I do. These are my personal opinions that I have, that I'm expressing from my personal experience. Go look about yourself if you've never experienced this before. You're absolutely right. I am very ill prepared to defend these stances, because the point of this video wasn't to defend them. The point of this video was just to express them, to tell you guys what I think. What is your opinion on the climate dictatorship types? It's worrying how many people in the environmentalist community are literally willing to abolish democracy or in extreme takes. If we were under a direct crisis, I might be able to see some justification, but because it's a long-term thing, you should be willing to negotiate with others. You shouldn't be going to extremes. Only extreme threats require extreme measures. Jester, this is a great stream. I'm Black, Asian, and gay, but I don't sign up for the woke culture war the MSM projects onto everyone, but I think it's a plot done for the elite to profit off the suffering. Love your King of the Hill content. Thank you very much. Josh Reviews is back. I once got targeted by SJWs because they said my background photo was sexist and my background photo on Twitter was Jason Voorhees. Speedy 1993. Woke is delusion of reality. You are lying to yourself to make yourself seem special and different when all you want is attention. Friend of mine goes to college for 2 months, comes back non-binary, is brainwashing. I do kind of agree with that. Again, I'm trying not to put it down too much, but the reality of it is I do agree with most of these claims that people are saying. Twitter changes the rules just to attack people who disagree with the mob and fact checkers, and this past year is an example of that. They have no morals. Yeah, I can agree. You don't sound anti-woke, you sound more pro-individual versus the collective trying to force their norms at an accelerated rate onto it. Well, I preach anti-woke stuff all the time. If you've seen some of my videos, it leaks through my videos. I preach individualism. Care about yourself and seek a way to improve yourself. I don't like victim mentality. Yes, you can victim blame, but I don't think I think that term is way overused. I pretty much every aspect of woke culture I disagree with. I disagree with their conclusions. Like I've said before, they come to vastly different conclusions than I do. Crypt Zero, could I message you on DeviantArt? Gotta share info. I mean, you can. Yeah, I'm not as active on DeviantArt. If people want to contact me about if it's like work stuff, like YouTube related stuff, not just a question about a show. If you got a question about a show, it's best just to leave a comment on YouTube or tweet at me. But if you got questions of like maybe you want to collab or something, email me or DM me on Twitter. I respond to those if they are work related. Oh my Kale, love your videos. Question, what moral message have you gotten from a show that has stuck with you the most? Political and non-political. Thanks, man. All right, so I think we've reached the point of the video where we can open the floor. So let me change the topic right quick. Because I think people get the point about me and wokeness. Okay, what moral message have you gotten from a show that has stuck with you the most? Ooh, so the one, okay. Probably there are some morals that have stuck with me, but probably the one that sticks with me the most is the Spider-Man one. With great power comes great responsibility. Not that though, because I hate the concept that a superhero has to be a superhero if they have superpowers. But Spider-Man's journey throughout his thing was he constantly tries to do the right thing. And as a kid, that's all I wanted to do. And Spider-Man, he would constantly do that no matter how much it hurt him, no matter how much it put himself in peril. He would constantly try to do what he knew was right. That's probably the moral that has stuck with me more than any other moral. Patrick Green is pretty brave talking about this type of stuff. Mad respect, man. Thank you very much. Do you think masks work to reduce COVID-19 spread? I'm not a doctor. I don't know. I know I never took the mask stuff seriously. Like, I wore masks because stores were like, hey, wear masks. But I never took it seriously. I was never like, I never felt I was in danger when other people didn't do it. But I'm not a doctor, so. Snapper Churks, just toss you a few bones, man. Keep up the work. It's much appreciate. Your content is what YouTube was made for. Thank you very much. Man, you guys are making me want to go actually make videos. Because live streams to me always feel really lazy. But I know a lot of people really like live streams because they get a chance to actually ask the creator stuff, just mundane questions. So I do try to get live streams in there because people really enjoy them. But they always feel lazy to me. It always feels like, oh, I'm supposed to be working on a video, but I'll just give them a live stream. They'll eat it up. What are your thoughts on BLM? They seem to be doing more harm. Yeah, I've answered that before. I think they do more harm than good, and I don't believe in their premise. Phantom Tales, this will be more upsetting than woke talk, Toby, Garfield, or Holland. I'm not sure what you mean by that. This will be more upsetting than woke talk, Toby, Garfield, or Holland. Yeah, I'm not sure what you mean by that. Hayden Harrelson, I love your top 10 videos. I actually made me finally check out your Miraculous video. I am now fully caught up. I'm so behind Miraculous. Goodness gracious, I'm behind Miraculous, and I'm so sorry about it. The reason being is because I don't like my camera setup. And the next Miraculous, I think, was supposed to be all of my Miraculous videos use my camera. So, but I didn't want to get a new camera until like I saw how the channel did on its first month, to see if I could invest in more equipment, which it did really, really well this first month. So, thank you guys so much for this first month of going full time. Like, the numbers we got greatly surpassed my expectations. I had a goal that I wanted to meet by November. And you guys blew that goal out of the water in July. Like, goodness gracious. BQ, I lied. Do you have a subreddit or use Reddit? I do have a subreddit and I need to use it more. I really need to use it more because I know people want to communicate with me about stuff. And I think Reddit is the best way. In all my videos in the description, there's a link to the subreddit. I need to get on using that more. I'm so sorry. It died and it's my fault. People were on there messaging me and I didn't respond because I was too busy with stuff. And I'm so mad about that because I want to be able to talk to you guys in an environment like that. And right now I'm not comfortable with doing a Discord, maybe later, but I think Reddit is the best way to do it. The Shambler, the appeal to authority is a fallacy for a reason. Just because you are not an expert doesn't mean you cannot put forward valid insight. That is true. That is true. Yeah, I meant to come in this video saying I'm a logos person. I hate ethos and pathos. And I've been saying ethos stuff like this whole video. But I do think people should do more research. Like, I think my opinions are all based on my personal experience. So yeah, I can still give forward valid insight. But I think I want people to know that you should never take anything you just hear on the internet as just fact. Like, go do some independent research. The original Professor Doorags doesn't want free money. Well, I'm gonna give him feel worse by giving him more of my disposable income. I mean, I never said I didn't want free money. I don't know where you got that from. Which actor do you like the most? I meant which actor from Phantom Tales. This would be more interesting than talk Toby, Garfield, or Hulk. Oh, how did I not see that? Toby, Garfield, or Holland? Oh my goodness gracious. Oh man, I'm mad I didn't immediately recognize those names. Toby, Garfield, or Holland. First of all, my Spider-Man in the movies is the one from Into the Spider-Verse. They finally, that's like the perfect Peter Parker. I know it's supposed to be after he's broken, but they still did him so much justice in Into the Spider-Verse. But if I have to pick one of those three, I think Tobey had the best balance. Holland was good in Civil War. It was everything else I really didn't care too much for him. Like, he wasn't a bad character, but that Spider-Man is not my Spider-Man. That's a completely different Spider-Man. Andrew was a good Spider-Man. He was probably the best Spider-Man, but he was a horrible Peter Parker. And then Tobey was like an amazing Peter Parker, but the script made him just not a good Spider-Man. But I think Tobey had the best balance out of all three of them. How did you get your outro? My grandpa, who died in the 90s, said almost the exact same thing every time I left his house. That is, okay, I will post it in the chat. My outro comes from a song. See if I can. From a movie called The Sound of Music. Which one is the official one? I think this is the official one. This movie is just, it's all right. I enjoy it. But I love the songs. I absolutely love the songs. Okay, so that's where my outro comes from. Miraculous needs to have Ladybug have wings. Yes, it does. Here's a video idea. What do you do when you get sad? How do you not be sad? See, that's more of advice, which I'm fine getting into. It would probably be more experimental because all my videos usually link to a cartoon of some sort. So if I had a cartoon that talked about being sad, and how to deal with it. Oh, that's a direct quote from BoJack Horseman. What do you do when you get sad? How do you not be sad? Oh my goodness. How did I not recognize that BoJack? I was like, that was worded very weirdly. I guess, yeah, I could just use BoJack Horseman to talk about that. Well, the answer though is you don't not be sad. That's a bad thing. Be sad. Feel your emotions, work through them, understand them. Only when you work through your emotions can you reach the happy point. That's what Inside Out was about. You should review The Boondocks, a cartoon from Adult Swim. If I could find it, I'll think about it, because when I was a kid, I wasn't allowed to watch it. It was too adult, but sometimes I would wake up with the TV on and Adult Swim would be on. Man, that thing used to crack me up. Bro, thank you so much. You solved a mystery I've had in my mind forever. I'm not sure what mystery I solved, but you're welcome. Tom Holland's probably the best overall, but I don't like how Spider-Man has so much tech. Spider-Man has tech in the comics, so I'm fine with that. It's just my big thing with Spider-Man. He is my absolute favorite. I keep looking over here because I have a Spider-Man poster up here. He is my absolute. Also, my keyboard is Spider-Man. He is my absolute favorite fictional character of all time. But what drew me to him was A, his humor, B, his powers, but the most important thing was he was an outcast, but eventually learned to do the right thing despite how other people treated him. What is your opinion on current black culture? I don't really care for current black culture. I mainly just use it to make jokes on this channel. That is the overall joke of this channel. Oh, look, I look like a gangster. I'm now gonna talk about My Little Pony. Like, that's the running joke. Have you seen Invincible? If so, what are your thoughts? Yes, I've seen Invincible. I tried to do a video on Invincible, and I wrote a script, and it took me like 4 days to do it. And then I went and I rewatched the scene, and I was like, wait, that's not what they're saying. They're saying something different. So the script was completely garbage. So I was like, well, crap, because I know a lot of people want to see a video on Invincible, and I was trying to find something, but I didn't just want to talk about Amber because everybody's already talked about Amber. I don't have anything new to add to that conversation. And I didn't just want to be like, oh, it's a good show. The only thing I could do at this point is do a personal perspective, which if you guys don't know, that's just personal perspectives are just reviews. Like they're just generic reviews. Those just take a long time to do. I have to write a very long script for personal perspectives. Hey, Shady, are you LGBTQ plus? No, I am a cis straight black male. Shady Doorags, the mystery was why my grandpa used to say the same thing you said at the end of the video. Oh, okay, yeah, that's the mystery. Yeah, I love that song. The song I love the most from that movie is Do Re Mi. Oh my goodness, I jam out when Do Re Mi comes on. I'm gonna call you Little Joe whether you like it or not. Okay, have fun with that. I probably won't respond to it. I don't mind if Parker comes up with his own tech, but I don't like Iron Man gifting him all the stuff his suit is capable of. Yeah, I would have preferred him become his own character first. But like I said, Tom just feels like his own iteration of Spider-Man. I'm like, I would have liked to have seen them perfect what I view as Spider-Man before they moved on to this type of Spider-Man, which they never did. Like Toby was a good Peter, Andrew was a good Spider-Man, but they never found that perfect mix in the live action. They only got it in Spider-Verse. Shady, I'm so glad you pushed against victim culture. I had a pretty bad victim mentality I had to get rid of, and I understand taking personal responsibility and self-improvement is the way. Yes. And keep in mind, it does not mean your life will be perfect. You will still have struggles. Everyone has struggles. It's just keeping that mindset of what to do when you come to adversity. You have to focus on what you can to make it better. Shady, what BoJack Horseman theme has stuck with you the most? Theme? BoJack Horseman theme? I want to say improvement, because BoJack was... I love season 4 the most because that's where BoJack improves. Probably. Green of the Fell Dragon, thank you very much. I like Spider-Man villains more than Spider-Man. I mean, you're allowed to have opinions and they're allowed to be wrong. I'm just saying. Like there aren't too many Spider-Man villains that I absolutely love. I usually just love Spider-Man himself. Venom, I do love Venom. Goblin's alright, but I don't just love him. Green Goblin, Hobgoblin, both. Biggie Stones, thank you very much. Moni, yep, that it is. The villains in the Tobey Maguire movie were a lot more interesting, I think, at least in my opinion, than the others. Although I will admit I haven't seen Andrew Garfield's movies. I mean, in the movies, probably the Sandman was an interesting villain. Doc Ock was an interesting villain. Goblin was campy. I'm fine with it because I love campy, but people might not like that. Keep up the great work. I appreciate you being so honest with your views as well as being civil and respectful. Your content gets me through the day when I watch your videos. Thank you very much. Try to pass on that civility to others because it is a difficult thing to do in this day and age, especially with the internet. Kraven, underrated. Could you consider Kraven specifically a Spider-Man villain? I guess. I actually didn't like the famous Spider-Man Kraven book. The one with Spider-Man rising from the grave. I actually didn't like that. It annoyed me because Kraven thought he knew what it meant to be Spider-Man. And so he goes down, he just destroys vermin, and he's like, yes, I know, now I can die. And I'm like, you don't know what it meant to be Spider-Man. And that always ticked me off. Green of the Fell Dragon, Venom and Carnage, yeah. I mean, the Spider-Man video game for the PS1 made me absolutely love Venom and Carnage. That is the best version of Venom. Because he's just as hilarious as Spider-Man. Spider-Man's villains in the comics are usually straight trash, although Venom is the only one that's kind of cool. I mean, Scorpion has a cool concept. The thing is, Spider-Man's enemies are always angry men. They're always really angry men. And Spider-Man, who is it's supposed to be the nerd against the bullies. Spider-Man, who is a genius, he figures out his way to get past all this, past all these bullies. And, you know, he mocks them the same way a bully would mock a nerd, but he does it the opposite. And they think that he's being the bully. They think that he's being the guy bullying them when he's the nerd. Speedy, 1993. One, life is filled with ups and downs. You are the only one that can let yourself get out of your own rut in life. 2, Zendaya is not MJ, and I agree with you on Parker and Spider-Verse. 3, enjoy life and be healthy. Thank you very much. Also, I was so ticked off when Zendaya turned out to be MJ. I was like, no, just keep her a different character. You don't have to call her MJ. Oh, I was mad at that. It was the same thing with Robin in freaking Dark Knight Rises. Like, I know it's just supposed to be an homage, but man, was I ticked. Well, I'm more independent. That leans a bit left, but I absolutely despise wokeness. Are you going to archive your stream? I disagree hard with some of your views, but your candor, respectful tone, and geeky topics are worth sticking around. But I got a dip. I'd like to catch up later. Yeah, I pretty much always archive my streams. It just takes them a while to go live. Spider-Man 2, Enter Electro made me fall in love with Spider-Man. I've always loved Spider-Man as a kid. Who is the worst Mary Sue? I haven't seen the movies, but I'm gonna say Ray. I haven't seen the movies. I've only seen the reviews of the movies, but I think Ray is like just the prime example of a Mary Sue. Absolutely, she hits every single note and amplifies it to 100. The beauty of full-time YouTuber is that you can buy new equipment and use it as a tax write-off. Show enough, when I bought my computer, that was show enough a tax write-off. Woo! Have you watched the video done by Ethereal Snake? No, I have not. Do you enjoy THC? No. Zendaya is a different character, but the homage is annoying. They're trying to have their cake and eat it too. When Zendaya leaves, I guarantee they'll introduce Gwen Stacy and MJ proper. Probably. Do you like any DC heroes? Yes, I love DC heroes. I was supposed to wear a Superman shirt, but I got sweaty and it was gonna show. So I was like, I didn't put it on. My favorite, I mean, first of all, how can you ask that? Do you like any DC heroes? I start every video, every single video with me wearing like my profile picture. Just look at my profile picture. Do I like DC superheroes? Yes, there's one very specific that I am highly fond of. Are you aware of who Jordan Peterson is? Yes, I listen to Jordan Peterson. Not regularly. I've listened to him before. If not, I recommend his 2 most recent books. The best description I can give is the Bible of Self-Responsibility. Yeah, I think Jordan Peterson is spot on with his advice. I would pretty much give the same advice Jordan Peterson gives. Have you watched Food Wars? I have not. I'm trying to get back into anime. It is proving to be difficult because I don't have a lot of patience. I'm trying to read now, and I got this book. This book right here. I don't want to say the name. Oh, you can't see the name. But yeah, I got it, and it started off very interesting because it was this girl, and she's a fighter, healer, and sword fights, and then freaking it turned into a love story. I was like, you guys freaking tricked me. I was all up in it for the for the sword fighting. Phantom Tales, best Batman actor. Best Batman actor? I mean, none of them are really vastly superior over each other. It was just The Dark Knight had the best script. So, and Batman vs. Superman had the worst script. It wasn't the acting that was bad. Which Spider-Man animated series is your favorite? Oh, this is where I cry. Because Spider-Man, the animated series, is my favorite. It's the one I grew up on. But I have to admit, Spectacular Spider-Man is the best one. Hands down. Spectacular Spider-Man just has such better combat and animation and characters. It beats Spider-Man, the animated series in every single regard. But I love Spider-Man, the animated series because of nostalgia. Like when I'm reading comics, Prince Eric's voice is who I hear. Like Prince Eric is Peter Parker to me. But yeah, Spectacular Spider-Man is the objectively best one. And it's pretty sad when you hear why that show got canceled. Like, I didn't realize exactly why it got canceled. I just thought it like didn't get the ratings. Overall, you gained more subscribers than those you lost. The subscriber count is starting to slow down. Like it went up super fast this week. Like we made like 5,000 subscribers in 1 week, which is very, very fast for my channel. But it started to slow down last night, or yesterday, really. So I have to see what happens when I start posting videos again. It could just be because I haven't posted an actual video. The 90s Spider-Man doesn't age very well. Yeah, the CG doesn't really age. I grew up with Spectacular Spider-Man. Like, I mean, Spectacular Spider-Man is technically a part of my childhood, but just it was more towards my teens. Like Spider-Man the animated series, that was more towards when I was a kid. Shady Doorags, Mark Hamill is the original Joker to me. Yeah, Mark Hamill is Joker to everyone. Everyone hears Mark Hamill when they read comics, and they hear I can't remember his name when they Batman, the guy from Batman the animated series, his voice. I mean, that's the best Batman actor if you want to get down to it. Kevin Conroy. Yeah, Kevin Conroy. That's who it is. Kevin Conroy is definitely the best Batman. And that's who everyone hears when they read Batman comics. Jordan Peterson taps into the entitlement and insecurities of 16-year-old debate bros and really isn't that deep. I mean, if that's your opinion on him, I highly disagree. I think Jordan Peterson taps into the basic wants of young men, and he has it figured out what they need for themselves. The funny thing is, I've known about Jordan Peterson's clean your room thing for a long time. My room was constantly messy, and I went and I had a talk with my mom, and she's like, well, you know, if you feel like you need to clean your room to be successful, why don't you just clean your room? And I was like, I have no excuse for that. So I went and I cleaned my room. The next day, the John Redcorn video blew up in views. I was like, oh man, yeah, it works. You clean your room and you're successful. Do you get recognized? Not in public, because I don't look like... Montreal does not look like Shady Doorags. I don't wear shades in public like I used to. I used to always wear shades and Doorags. I still wear a Doorag a lot of times, but I don't have to anymore because I don't have to go to work. So I just go out like when I'm going to the store or something, but I normally don't unless I've just had a haircut, because I cut my own hair and I'm awful at it. I appreciate you saying this. Do you know John Doyle? I do not know John Doyle. Warren Lipinski, thank you very much. What do you think of the Flash? I think the Flash is the best hero. If you consider a hero someone that helps people, he's easily the best. Well, I mean, if you consider a hero someone that helps people, I mean, the Flash like stays on the ground. So Superman helps people, but you know, he's more godly in that aspect. He's more up in the air. That's the same place where Spider-Man is constantly. It's just less of a hindrance to the Flash. I like the Flash. I don't not like him. I like that he's the fastest thing alive. I like that the Speed Force comes from him. I know Wally is the fastest Flash. He can run faster than teleportation. But it's not like I have any great, like, extreme love for him. Like, my favorite superhero in the DC world is Nightwing. I think I prefer him in his Robin years, but still Nightwing, you know, Grayson. And then after that, I love the Green Lanterns. Hal Jordan, like, my love for Hal Jordan has died, but I used to have a real huge love for Hal Jordan. Jordan Peterson is fine most of the time, but he has some gaffes and is not the best conservative thinker out there. I don't really see Jordan Peterson as a conservative thinker. What are Doorags specifically for? I wear them as fashion. Doorags are mostly for, like, keeping your hair kept after you do something. Like, you know, you wash your hair and then you put stuff in it and then you need to go to sleep but you need protection. You wear a Doorag. Shady, please wear your opinion on Derek from Disenchantment. I don't remember who Derek is. I haven't seen Disenchantment in forever. Peterson takes for general self-improvement aren't wrong, but you can get them from any self-help person. But as a psych major who has read his work, it's either common sense ideas. I think he meant to say or over-explaining. Hey, I just got here. What I missed? Well, you missed the whole conversation. The stream is winding down now. We're just having a lovely little chat about things. What patterns have you noticed the most about woke SJW people? I noticed they don't like discourse. I notice it's the ends justify the means, which I don't believe in. And like I said before, they come up with hypotheses and treat them like conclusions. I scroll back on live and everyone uses pronouns, my guy. Pronouns are like names. If you think the name Sarah would fit someone better, you wouldn't just not call them their name. The difference is names are not meant to be objective. Titles are meant to be objective, like Sir Henry, that's meant to be objective. Names are just meant to be representative. Key emphasis on just, because pronouns are meant to be representative as well. But their pronouns are meant to be. Can you and Young Grippa 59 just do a comic podcast? I just found Young Grippa 59. Like, I've been watching some of his videos over the past couple of months. I mean, I haven't read any modern comics, so like I stopped reading comics in the early 2010s, and I tried to get back in them in the mid 2010s, but they were just ticking me off. What's teleportation but quick travel? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Do you think your channel will have a significant drop after today? I think that is possible. I'm not that much worried about it because, like I said, the point of this is for people to know where I stand. If people are gonna unsubscribe because of where I stand, I can't do much about it. What is your view on the current cinematic era and reboots and nostalgia baiting? And do you think it has anything to do with the prevalence of woke culture? I think nostalgia baiting, I think we're downhill when it comes to reboots, because freaking reboots were everywhere in the 2010s. My goodness gracious. That's why everybody just like jumped on Thundercats Roar, because reboots were everywhere and they were bad. I mainly blame Disney because they keep doing the live action remakes, but I don't hate reboots. They can be done correctly, and Disney has done the best reboot. Disney freaking did DuckTales. DuckTales is one of my all-time favorite shows, man. DuckTales 2019. Blackmore, thank you for the $5. What do you think about Watchmen? Do you like that series? I have not read nor seen Watchmen. It was too mainstream. What is your view on the current? Oh, I just read that. I want your opinion on something that ticked me off. I got told at work yesterday. I was told I can't use the word "yo" because I am white. Growing up in New York City is a word everyone uses, and I've never heard that. I've never heard that either. I have no idea why anybody would be upset unless they were joking that you couldn't use the word "yo." First of all, I think anybody can use any word they want. I think it is polite not to use words toward people who find them offensive. I tell all my friends, hey, please don't swear at me because I don't like swearing. I think it is words you're supposed to use when you're not in polite society, and I prefer to be polite around people. Well, I prefer to be in a polite group. Being woke is for fools. They only care about your color and experience and opinions. If you agree with them, my mostly experience with truly hardcore woke people. It's solid. I discovered you a few days ago. Enjoy your King of the Hill videos, but actually just subscribe because of where you stand socially. Tailspin. Do you play a lot of video games? If so, what are some of your favorites and why? I would like to get back into video games. I don't know if I'll be able to. I started just trying to pass time because between videos, I have to do something to get my mind off of videos, or I can't write the next script. So I've been trying to like play video games, and the one I find that best helps so far is Fallout 4. I have a huge video game collection, but it's just gathering dust because I never play. The game I played the most was Mario DDR, but it got lost in the move, so I haven't really been playing it. DuckTales 2019 review when? That's a lot of work. I love DuckTales, but the thing is, I feel like the only thing I'm going to be saying the whole time is I love this show. I love DuckTales. I love this show. It's the greatest show ever. I love DuckTales. Say anything, but if you say slurs or derogatory terms, you have to accept consequences of saying them. We have to accept the consequences of saying anything. All right, how long have we been streaming? We've only been live for 2 hours. Wow, I thought it was much longer than that. Do you animate your avatar yourself, or do you have a partner that helps? I do all the editing. I did not draw my avatar. Somebody else drew it, but I do pretty much all the work in my videos. I write the scripts, I collect the footage, I edit, I do everything. Have you seen Amphibia or Outhouse? No, I need to watch both of those. Still salty about Thundercats 2012 getting only 1 season. I didn't take you for a Fallout, man. Have you played New Vegas by chance? Yes, I have. I've played all the 3D ones. Well, I haven't played 76. New Vegas, I think, is the superior game. But I think Fallout 4 has the most replayability. Because of all the random encounters Fallout 4 has. Whew. All right, guys. I think it is time we call it. I got everything out that I wanted. I hope. I guarantee I'm probably going to remember something. Here are my notes. Oh, my goodness. The one thing this was the most important thing, and I never talked about it. I can't believe it. Okay, so I'll say this right quick, and then I'll head off. Another thing I wanted to address was that Hollywood is constantly full of wokeness. So, because I'm a cartoon reviewing channel, it's just gonna come out. That would have sounded much better within context of all the other stuff I was saying. But yeah, I think it's time we head out. Shut this thing down. Thank you guys so much for checking out, stopping by, watching, including those who disagree with me. I know this can be one of those real heated subjects. And I know I've said some things in this video that have upset some people. Understandable. You're allowed to disagree with me, as I always say. I hope I haven't burned too many bridges with people. And feel free to continue to disagree. Like I said, this video wasn't made to convince you not to be woke. It was just to express my opinions of it and to make it clear that I am not a woke person, and I don't want anybody to think I was portraying as one. I'm very, very anti-woke. Yeah, I will catch you guys later. We'll see what the next video is. I have so many ideas for videos, but the scripts are so hard to get done. But yeah, I'll see you guys later, and I'll go ahead and end the stream there. This has been Shady Doorags. So long. Farewell. Have Vida say. Goodbye.